Good morning, folks, and welcome to the Gallant Views morning news for Monday, the 19th of August 2024. My name's Colin, and I'm delighted to be joined by Jack. Jack, Monday always kicks me square between the legs, but it's a wee bit nicer when there's been a Rangers win, isn't it?
Aye, mate, it's a lot nicer, isn't it? Puts us into a better frame of mind going into the week ahead. Bins are out, milk and eggs are still no in, but it is Monday.
That's it, Monday, back with a bang, and with that, here comes all the Rangers news. So, um, uh, where to start? There's a few talking points we're going to run over today. Let's start with the actual football. With the cup draw, Rangers were drawn at home to Dundee in the quarterfinals. Jack, the draw was made yesterday after the Celtic Hibs game. So we'll be playing Dundee at Hampden in the quarterfinals, and the game's due to be played over the weekend of the 21st and 22nd of September. Given that Celtic were in it, Aberdeen were the other big name. It's a decent draw. Also, we should have got Spartans or the likes of Falkirk, but Dundee at Hampden, I think Rangers should be confident of progressing into the semi-finals.
You can't ask for much better. I mean, when you see the teams in a draw, I was just want to avoid Celtic, unfortunate home or away, and Aberdeen away. If we avoided them, I was quite happy with them. And then even a bonus, you get a home draw. I mean, you could have had one or two easier games, but you can't grumble with Dundee at home. It's going to be a weekend as well, Saturday or Sunday, so it'll be at most likely Hampden, but I think that's advantage Rangers that game, isn't it?
Yeah, as long as it's not that 5:45 kick-off, I would much rather. I'd much rather play early on the Sunday than have that like waiting all day on your Saturday for the game again. That was horrible at the weekend.
I think series quarter to six games, the years where you've played them, you've got a no bad record in them, apart from when Hearts put us at the Cup a few years ago. I think it's maybe a longer slog for the fans that day because it's a long day to mess about waiting than it is for players. But you know what, with Premier Sports, you could easily be the Friday night or the Monday night, Sunday night, Saturday morning. So you get what you get with when you've got a cheap TV deal. Unfortunately, it'll be worked around the English Premiership probably.
No, I don't mind the Friday night game. I mean, Rangers are few and far between to get them, but I like a Friday night game. Just get your weekend off their fire.
The Friday night game was a thing before we get back into Europe, wasn't it? That was the kind of one where it was safe to put us in the telly on a Friday night because they know that Rangers fans would still go to the game and still get a crowd watching it. So that was always a kind of the championship in the first couple of years in the Premiership. But I think we did all enjoy a Friday night game. Gauge you the weekend if you're working to work round about it, and your Friday night was good, especially if you won. It was actually a brilliant Friday night. We did a couple of good Friday nights back in the day.
We did. Second with the Sticking with the weekend's game, then also for the anybody who's not watched it yet, myself, Jack, Davey, and Andy went through the game in much more detail last night in the live stream, so you can get full feel play by play for that. But the you might have seen that there was something happened before the game. Videos going about looking like somebody. I don't want to say the Union Bells just in case it's no, but I think it's every time you see a young Rangers fan, you just assume they're in the Union Bells if they're up to no good. Probably unfair, but a group of young Rangers fans are seen like I don't know if attack is the right word, but they're stealing a drum off the St Johnstone supporters liaison officer. The woman does go to ground. She's forced to ground just for the boys to get a drum. Police Scotland have released a statement saying there's a 22-year-old man being arrested with it. I, I, I don't know if I was staunch points of it for this, no, but like this is the part of the ultra culture I don't like, Jack. This woman is just going about her business, supporting her team, doing her job, and that shouldn't be happening. I think it's an embarrassment for everybody involved.
Nah, it's one of these things. If you're going to have kick-offs on a Saturday night later on in Glasgow, you're going to have incidents outside football stadiums. I don't like in the ins and outs. It's a police matter now. no for me to say. Obviously, it doesn't look, it's not a very good looking video, but I've got one thing to say on it. Why was the away section known the traditional Celtic end? When drinks being consumed, it's not the best idea. No, I'm not excusing anybody, but there's a big full away end, and that's where Kiev were on Tuesday night. Why wasn't Johnson not up there? Organisers could look at that a wee bit better, because if you've got Hibs in a few weeks, I mentioned in a pod previously what happens when Rangers have played Hibs at Hampden previously. They'll need to have a better organisation for away fans going forward for this. Now, that's not excusing it, but there's things that can be done to help prevent things like this. And if you're going to have kick-off times at Saturday evening with people drinking all day, unfortunately, you're no helping matters with stuff like that.
No, I agreed. I think you make a good point. Absolutely. Doesn't excuse what these boys have done. Like they need to carry a can for that, but at the same time, if they're going to do it, there's still things that the club and authorities can put in place to try and mitigate it a wee bit. I was surprised when I seen the Motherwell fans last week in the West Stand and then Kiev in the East Stand. And I don't know if it's something to do with the amount of tickets sold and the allocation. The amount of tickets sold and how the police need to cordon off certain parts of the stadium. But it's a pretty low profile game, Rangers St Johnstone, in terms of animosity. Hibs in a
I've
couple of weeks' time, as you say.
I've been at St Johnstone. See, it's slow in what you would think is a Rangers rivalry, but see, in the last few years going to St Johnstone, there is a bit of needle between the fans during the game, and with this kind of new ultra thing that's growing, you need to be, police need to be a wee bit more careful, or the organisers, sorry, need to be a bit more careful with putting away fans of any team going to any game now, because you're even seeing things with Partick Thistle and Ross County fans clashing. Now everybody would think, that's a couple of wee innocent teams, but wee Neds are going to be wee Neds, so. And if we're going to be drinking all day on a Saturday, which means later happens, then the organisers need to be much better. There's a full away section, and at the other side of the ground, that's where the away fans should be. They shouldn't be congregating in between two Rangers ends, as they did with Motherwell. Nothing happened in the Motherwell game, but I've seen things with Motherwell fans in the past before, especially at Fir Park, where them running on the park and then goading people. So maybe Police Scotland and the organisers need to look a wee bit better, especially before this Hibs game.
Aye, no doubt they'll get their heads together and come up with like a neutral section or something. That's the level of intellect that we're dealing with the authorities. So we're going to go back a day back to the previous day, Friday. This all started for this next story, where a lot of reports online and in the papers are talking about Rangers' next CEO, and apparently Jim Gillespie of St Mirren is set to be the James Bridgewell's replacement. So he is the vice chairman of St Mirren right now. He is the CEO of Dog Charity Kibble, and he's a diehard Rangers fan, 46-year-old. I don't quite know his background and where he made his money, Jack. But what's your thoughts on this? He is. He's a Rangers fan. He's got experience in Scottish football and in a similar type of role. It is in Mirren, so it's a different kettle of fish. Is a big jump up. What's your take on it?
Really hard in it to say you think this is a good or a bad thing, because Rangers fan, big help, because we've seen we appointed somebody last week who wasn't a Rangers fan for a role within the club. It didn't go down too well. St Mirren, it's a bit, as you say, it's a total. I mean, you might have inside knowledge and good knowledge of how the Scottish game works, but going through St Mirren to Rangers is a big step up. I don't know what to make on it. I'd see to say if I said I knew much about him before. I don't. I'll tell you his name once ages ago, but to say I know anything about him, I'd be lying. It was quite funny because see when people are talking about it and you hear some of the names getting thrown about, somebody even said Paolo Maldini done it for AC Milan. So the glamour of Maldini at Milan to Jim Gillespie at St Mirren is some wake up calling that one. But okay, we'll see how that one goes. I'd be lying if I said I was excited about it, but we just need to see how it goes. I mean, we've not been great in that role before, so maybe this guy will be better.
I It's funny, isn't it? I don't know too much about him at all, and just looking at some of the articles, picked up he's picked up a few awards in the Institute of Directors over the last couple of years. What that means, I haven't a screwy. I'll be honest, like so. Apparently, that's a thing. To be honest, I don't want a glamorous name for my CEO. I just want somebody who can run a football club efficiently. Paolo Maldini, I loved him. I adored him as a player. I don't know his credentials as a businessman, I'll be honest. So if Rangers were to start saying, "Oh, Richard Groff is in the running for the next CEO," I would be flipping tables because it's just another step towards the club being a bit of shambles. It's Rangers is a unique job in terms of being the CEO or the chief executive or a director, because the industry you're in, you're one of only two outliers, so you can't quite get experience. Maybe even Hearts, right? Hearts, I think, are the third biggest club in Scotland, so you'll get more exposure there than you will St Mirren, but it's still a massive jump up to being the Hearts CEO to the Rangers CEO. It's it's real. It's going to be a gamble, whoever we get, and the same token will go for if we get somebody down south. It's a completely different game where we're talking about tens and hundreds of millions of a difference in terms of the landscape. So we're kind of in a situation where anybody we're realistically going to go for will have some relevant experience, but there's no carbon copy of that job where we can say they've done X, Y, and Z there, they can do it at Rangers.
I see what you're saying. The glamour name, it doesn't mean anything for a CEO, but if there was a glamour name coming in, people get excited about it. I think as well, see with a CEO, you need to be careful because see if it is a big name or somebody knows, they end up with more power than the manager, and then there's that kind of stepping on each other's toes. This is just one we really need to get right. Um, I don't entirely trust the Rangers board at the moment, but I need to take they'd be more qualified for who's right for this job than any other. Let's be honest, this guy could be fantastic for all we know. And the awards, you don't get him for nothing, so it's obviously something he's doing right in a business sense.
Aye, so if it is Jim Gillespie, good luck because you're certainly going to need it with how things are going at Rangers, and I suppose we'll wait and see how this one transpires. Last we know that we'll come to Jack as the Rangers women beat Partick Thistle 4-0 yesterday. Katie Wilkinson got a hat trick, and Chelsea Cornet got chipped in with a goal as well. So. Obviously, after the back of an 11-0 win over Aberdeen last week, it's a good start to the season. 2 games in and 15 goals, 2 clean sheets for the Rangers ladies.
That's a fantastic start, isn't it? That's another good result. Last week, 11-0. That's some score because Aberdeen must have a pick of the women in the North East to play, so they'd have a decent pool of players. Do you think they could get in? Winning 4-0. Another good score. I hope that wee lassie's alright. I heard a Partick Thistle lassie got a bit of a bad injury, so I hope she's alright. I heard that was quite a bad one. Hopefully Rangers women can keep the goals going because that was kind of what held them back a few games last season. Winter the goals kind of dried up, unfortunately. My wee girl, she was at a training day with Glasgow City a couple of years ago, and there was a really good lassie. She was for Costa Rica, played, and Rangers tried to sign her, but she ended up going to Mexico and getting more money for a team that took it more serious. So that might have been the difference last season. That didn't happen. Her name was Chinchilla or something, the wee left winger. She was a cracking player, but they got outbid for a Mexican team apparently on wages. So still a wee bit behind the other clubs in the world, but can't argue with the start of the season they've had.
No, you cannot at all. And just on that one, the head knock. So Partick Thistle's Courtney Stewart had a head clash with Rangers' Laura Rafferty. Laura Rafferty did have to go off, but Courtney Stewart, I think, for the initial reports, it looked as if she was having a seizure. Then she had to wait over an hour for an ambulance. So, for what I gather, she's okay, she's stable, but best wishes go out to Courtney Stewart. Now, I hope she recovers well. You don't want to see that at any level of football. But that's just we'll not get into it. But that's the state of the Scottish emergency services, waiting an hour for an ambulance, mate.
Aye, very poor into it. I mean, if that game's it's in and off of Glasgow, it's not that far. Faced Hill Hospital and the Royal. Before getting too political, it's not really a good look for the girls' game, unfortunately, there at all. But it's not even a good. It's not a good look for the girls' game because of the state of what's going on about it.
I know. So hopefully we see less of that, and we'll hopefully see Courtney Stewart back in playing for Partick Thistle as well. And well done to the Rangers women continuing their hot streak. Jo Potter has already said that she's learned from last year. It's not just about winning every game; she has to win convincingly and get the goal tallies up. So she's started as she means to continue. That was all the headlines for the weekend, Jack. I suppose I'm going to put you in the spot here and ask you if you think any business will be done this week, either in or out for Rangers.
I would love a couple of transfer links in business to be done, but I think it seems to depend on who goes out first before who comes in. I don't know about the loan market, how that's affected with that side yet. I mean, because we're now at the point where we're probably going to have to look at bringing in another loan or two because there's still a couple of positions needing filled. But see, to be honest, right, so Jeff G. Dreadcard at changed the game against Kiev. See our domestic start, it's not been that bad. See if you go over the years. I know we drew at Tynecastle, but we could have won that game. There was a couple of good chances we missed. Domestically, we've not been that bad. And we've got Ross County this weekend, who, if we don't beat comfortably, there's something's not right. But if we win that comfortably, and then get a couple of loan signings in, I know people are getting a bit excited how good Celtic are. Celtic are ahead of us, but they're no world class. Just try and get a bit of good business done before that game and get ourselves going. Because I say that people have reacted about how bad this start of the season has been, but domestically it's actually been all right.
Aye, I think results wise, like it's no the first time we've drawn the first game of the season, and it won't be the last time.
Better Rangers teams have drawn the first game or drawn away at Hearts, and in the next 50 years, better Rangers teams than this will drop points at Tynecastle.
Aye, I think it's probably the manner of the performance. Saying that, not just the manner of the performances, the fact it's a continuation from last year, and we've not seen a difference yet. So I think that's getting a lot of people's back up. But if we do take it in isolation, a new season, a new start, it's not been the worst. I do agree with you. We do need players in over the next couple of weeks, because we know we don't have the depth. At the loan market, I wouldn't mind using for a couple of big name players. So we know Vaclav Cherny, say for example, he goes at the end of the season. If we bring in a central midfielder who's only here for a year, and they're two key players this year, I don't mind doing that because we've got a lot of young players who we're expecting to grow in. Connor Barron's just about to turn 22. Ross McCausland and Cole McKinnon on the wings. We've got a lot of young players that we signed. So if we need to use the loan market to try and bridge a gap for these players to develop, and then next year they do take it a level above, I don't think that's a bad idea considering where we are.
See if we were to get ourselves a Tillman and a Kent like we have before, that would improve us massively. I know the way the loan market's going now, you're less likely to get the option to buy on players that age. But if we were to find two like that, it would be fantastic now. But that's on the scouting and that's on us to find. But I'm going to be fair to Rangers in one era. I was watching the Premiership starting this weekend. There's no lot of new signings all over the world. This isn't just a Rangers thing at the moment, trying to get players in. So we've got a bit of hard work here for us, unfortunately. And where are a lot of players left for players that the fans would rather left in the summer, you still need to replace them.
That's it. So a lot of work to be getting done in the last 2 weeks. So hopefully Jim Gillespie, can, if he comes in, he can get maybe a boot or two up a few backsides. But Jack, that'll do us for today. Always a pleasure speaking to you, mate.
Same to yourself, mate, and hopefully go and have a good day at work and a bit of positive news at a Rangers Day regarding the cut of signings.
Here's hoping, and thank you to everybody listening. As always, we do appreciate your continued support for the podcast. Let us know what you think in the comments. Give us a shout on what you think about any of these stories. And until next time, have a cracking Monday.